final question, given all we've laid out here, are you fundamentally more optimistic or more pessimistic about what's going to evolve here in the next 5-10 years in these, in particular this Chinese-Western relationship?
More optimistic or less optimistic? I have to say I'm pretty pessimistic about America. But on the other hand, I do know America has amazing powers of regeneration when it wants to. But I see us sort of steeped in a kind of a lassitude and self-vindictiveness, and I think it's not our finest hour. I see China running, going like a racehorse off into a somewhat uncertain future. And I see the world now sort of really lacking any country to lead it in a way which it had become accustomed to having America lead it, sometimes for ill, sometimes for good. But it's a very strange situation where we find the United States sometimes sort of begging China to lead. Who would ever have thought we'd arrived at this place where we used to be kind of trying to push them away and we didn't want them to lead. And yet we're deeply distrustful of them. Mm-hmm. We're deeply distrustful of their values, and we're also deeply distrustful that they will evolve to have the kind of appreciation of the common weal which we like to imagine we have even when we haven't had it. But that's so I don't know. I mean, this is an amazing moment in history where everything is starting to shift, and all of the old structures and architectures have sort of run out of shelf life. And yet we seem to have, look at climate change, a complete catastrophe in terms of a multilateral ability to establish a new multilateral framework. So we're back into feudalism, with everybody doing whatever they do, a lot of good things, but no overarching policy. Can we come together on a new architecture for global finance? I don't think it's going to be any easier than on climate change. And whatever happens, it will require that each country, not just the US and China, have a more reasonable assessment of their stature and power and position in whatever this new world is going to be, and the structure that's going to represent those new alignments of power, balances of power.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's, I think, a nice place to stop, but it's been a fantastic interview, and as always, really interested in your insights into China, the United States, and the world. So thanks for being with us.
Well, it's been my pleasure.